Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at this little fella right here, Lindisfarne. Lindisfarne is put out by Runes Editions, and it is basically a dice rolling game where you're trying to allocate your clan tokens to different parts of preparing for a raiding party. And when you do that, whoever has the most value of tokens on each of the different boards gets to choose destination cards that will be able to be used to score points at the end of the game. So it is an interesting dice rolling game. And so let's get down to the table. I'll show you how it works, and we'll come back with some final thoughts in just a few moments. Let's get to it. So here I have set up for you a 4-player game of Lindisfarne. And Lindisfarne is a game where Vikings are going to be going out trying to raid different places in Europe to bring back spoils and so forth and so on. Those spoils are represented with these different cards that are set out for each different tile of the board. The way that these cards are procured is by being the leader of that board. You get to get first choice, and then the second player also will get a choice here. Possibly a third player, because when you choose these cards, you can either choose to take one of these cards, or you can choose to take 2 objective cards and then keep one of them, putting the other one on the bottom of the deck. So that's how these different cards are going to be procured. Now, you'll see that each one has a faction symbol on the top part of the card, and then down below, it also has a number value. This is a 2, this is a 1, this is a 0 down here. And then on the bottom of the cards down here, there are these shields that are spaced out over the thing. And that is because each one of those faction sets creates a mural. And you are going to be getting different kinds of point values for creating these different murals that are in each of these different faction symbols sets of cards. While I'm here, at the end of the game, for every objective card that you have finished, we'll score you 10 points. Whoever has the most of each faction will get 4 points. And then you also get the point values of the different cards that they have printed on them already. And then at the bottom, for the different sections of these murals that you have that are connected to each other. For example, you have the number 1 shield next to the number 2 shield and so forth. For however long your mural is, you'll be getting some points. If you have a mural that is 2 sections long, you'll get 2 points for that. If it's 3 sections long, you'll get 6 points, and so forth and so on, all the way up to, if you have a 6th one, it's be worth 20 points. There are also these Norway cards that are for trading purposes, and they do different things, and those different things are shown on the back side of that scoring sheet I just got through showing you. Some of them are effects that take place at the end of the game. So these blue squares are going to denote end of the game scoring. And then you also have red cards, which will mean that those effects take place immediately when that card is taken. And then green effects are usually game effects that are used during your turn. They're one-time uses during the course of the game. Now, on the course of your turn, you're going to take a number of dice equal to the number of faction tokens that you have available to you right now. So right now, at the beginning of the game, everybody has 6 tokens. So you're going to roll your dice, and then you're going to have these different things out here available to you. So what each of the different boards has is that over here you can place your tokens anywhere you'd like on the first row. If you're the first person going there, the next person will go on the second most northern row, and so forth and so on. Over here, what determines who wins this is the total value of your chips. For example, if I sent 3 of my guys over here to the 3, like so, and then I also sent 1 to the 6, that means that I would have 3, 6, 9, 15 points available to me over here. But let's say that I had the same roll and I wanted to place over here. Well, that means that I'm going to be placing in a row. And only 1 in each specific space. And we're trying to get the longest consecutive chain going. So let's say that I wanted to go 1, 2, and 3. Well, then I would place 1, 2, and 3, like so. Down here, it is easily whoever has the highest stack. So with this roll, I had 3 threes. I could take this stack of 3 and go right here. When you're placing these tokens on a tile, you have to place it on only one. On your next turn, you could place it on one of the other ones if you wanted to, but you can only place tokens on one tile per turn. Now, when it comes back around to me for my second turn, I'm only going to get to roll 3 dice. So I'll take those 3 dice and roll them. And I've got a 3, 4, and a 6. Now, as I look to see where everybody else has gone, I went down here originally, but now blue has a higher stack than me, so I'm in second place. Now, I do have a 3 here, which means that I could add to that, which means that we're tied, and now I would be the winner because of that tiebreaker. But maybe I want to diversify. Maybe I'm okay with being second place down there. But maybe I'm not okay with being second down there, so I am going to go ahead and use this 3 to add to my stack that's already there, bringing it to a tie in which I would win that tie. Now, as it comes back to my turn, now I have a choice to make. And really, I had this choice to make at the beginning of all of my turns. But I can either continue to prepare for the voyage here, or I can decide to return home. When the first person that decides to return home during a evaluation, they will be able to take the first player token, and then they'll also be able to take rune tiles, which are these things right here, for every token that they have left in their available cache here. So I have 2 left, so I'd be able to take 2 rune tokens and add them to over here. Now, what are these things good for? Well, during the course of rolling to determine where you're going to place your tokens, you can use these for +1 or -1 to your die rolls. So these can be used to manipulate the dice, and you can use multiple rune tiles on one die if you'd like to. So at the end of the expedition, each tile is going to be scored starting with the most northern one and then working south. So up here, the red faction has 12 and the yellow faction has 10. So the red faction is going to choose which one of these they're going to take. He's going to choose to take this one, which gives him +1 point for each fresco that he has finished, completed at the end of the game. Those frescoes are these things right here that are going to be those continuous pictures. So he's going to take that and place it face down in front of him. And then yellow is going to, let's see here. We'll go ahead and take this one just to be easy. So both of these, all of these are returned to their people. Then over here, yellow and red are tied, but yellow was there first, so yellow gets the first go at these. And let's see. Well, since we took this one, and it has the shield down here, and then this one has the shield right next to it, that would be a connecting fresco, and that would actually be worth 2 points at the end of the game. Plus, these can also be used to complete objectives as well. So definitely going to take that one. And then the red player is going to, let's see here. We're going to actually pass on this one. And we're going to take 2 objective cards and then look at them and choose to keep one of them. So what this basically means is that if you collect a green, gold, and blue, you can complete this and it'll be worth 10 points for you. This one, it's a green, gray, or a black. That'll be worth 10 points for you if you have those in your stash at the end of the game. So we're going to go ahead and he already has a yellow. So we're going to go ahead and take this one, put it face down, and then this one will go on the bottom of the deck right there. And then, since the red person decided to forgo this and take one of these, the blue player does have the opportunity to either take this card or do the same thing that the red player did. He'll just go ahead and take this card like so. And then these are all returned to their respective players, like so. And then down here in the last tile, black and blue have tied. Black was there first, however, so he will be able to take this token. Now, this right here is one of those Norway cards, and it has a special ability that can be used once during the course of the game. And this one simply means that you can take one token from one number value on one board and move it to one of the other ones in the same number value. And you can do that once per turn. That seems to be a pretty cool idea. So we're going to go ahead and take that one over here. And then blue player is going to go ahead and choose two of these and take one. They had a gray to go with, so they'll go ahead and keep this one. And then this will go back up on the other side. And then red, let's see here. No, they don't need that black. But hey, you never know. We're going to go ahead and take that black and put it over here like that. And then all of these are returned to their respective people as well. Then 2 new destination cards are put at each location, like so, and a new round has begun. So that's about it for Lindisfarne. This is a very simply played game that has some technical depth to it, I guess you could say, because there are a lot of decision-making processes that you have to go through, determining where you're going to best place your clan tokens in that preparation for the journey. After that, it's pretty much a set collection game to a certain extent, and then you're also trying to score points by getting those objective cards scored as well. So there is that. I think it's an interesting game that has a lot of tactical, strategic possibilities, even though it is simply a dice rolling game. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get to my pros and cons. My first pro of the game is the art in the game is very good. I wouldn't say it's absolutely amazing, but it's good enough to get a nod and a couple thumbs up from me because it does look very good. I love it when games have this idea of creating a mural or a fresco using different cards or different components from the game, and when you lay them out side by side. Now, there have been games like Jamaica who have done that in the past, but there was no real in-game inclusion of that mural. It's just something that you could do if you wanted to when you were bored doing something else. But here, the murals and the frescoes being put together is actually part of the game. It's part of that select set collection aspect of it. So I really enjoyed that they worked that into the game, not just something that you could do as a fringe benefit, but this is something that is actually part of the scoring mechanisms. And I like that a lot. Another pro for the game for me is that it does have a dice mitigation factor involved in it. You're not just held at the whim of the dice roll. You do have the ability to step out, go back home a little bit early on one round, get you some rune tokens that you can use to mitigate the dice in the next round. And I think that's great that they thought that through, because frankly, being at the mercy of the dice sometimes just isn't that fun. It's a lot more fun to be able to mitigate those dice rolls. It gives you a little bit more control over where you're going to go and what board you're going to go for as well. So I like that. I think it's a great addition to the game. I also like the fact that in the game, during the scoring processes, if you're tied with somebody else for something, then you both get the points. And so having those friendly ties during scoring is something that makes the game more enjoyable for me. Because, you know, it really kind of stinks if you get tied with somebody and you both don't get it. Oh, wow, really? Or you have to take some diminished number. So I don't know. I like the fact that having friendly ties, it keeps everything kind of even-keeled, and I enjoy it when games do that. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the cons section. And the first con for me are the dice, which is unfortunate because they're kind of the focal mechanism of the game. You're rolling those dice. And the dice were just cheap looking, I guess you could say. They were such as you could see the different pips that were on the die. They were like, I don't know, they weren't engraved. It's just you could see where the machines would have put the dots on the other sides of the dice if it weren't like the 2. You could see the other 3 dots that were out there. With the 6, you could see the 1 dot that's in the middle of the die that's on the other side. So it just looked strange, and they were very cheaply produced dice, which is unfortunate because everything else in the game doesn't seem to be cheaply produced. I mean, the tiles of the boards are all very nice looking. The artwork on everything is very nice, but these dice just seemed out of place. Even the tokens were nice, thick tokens for the clan members. So, it just seemed unfortunate that they decided to go. Maybe they didn't decide. Maybe it was a production error where they thought they were getting one thing, but they actually got another. I don't know. But the dice in this one were lackluster and definitely looked out of place. Would have been great if they'd have like a set of nice chunky wooden dice or something to that effect. That would have really completed the graphic design of the game, at least in my opinion. But as it stands, the blue dice just are out of place. And my second con for the game is a possible con, I guess you could say. It just depends. It just seems to me that 45 minutes, which is around how long this game plays, might be overstaying its welcome by about 15-20 minutes. It is a dice rolling game, and usually those kinds of games, because it really does feel like a filler game. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to be anything more than that, but it goes 45 minutes around that area, so it might overstay its welcome in some circles, which would be unfortunate, because I think this is a great game. It's actually even a good filler game, I think, but it might just overstay its welcome too much, and that might keep it relegated to second place if you're looking for filler games or looking for something to do in between two bigger games. But all that said and done, I really did enjoy the game. I thought I had a lot of fun with it. There were a lot of neat possibilities that you could go in here. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 because I did enjoy it. I do approve of it. I think it's a fun dice rolling game with a great theme on it, great artwork, and it looks good on the table. The only thing that looked kind of strange was how the boards didn't actually build up. There was that gap in the middle of Europe, and that rubbed me the wrong way. But I'll give it a pass for now because you can just squish the boards together. It looks kind of strange, but not nearly as bad. But anyway, 7 out of 10 for me. I did enjoy the game a lot. Go check it out if you have the opportunity to do so at the very least. That's it from me for Lindisfarne. 7 out of 10. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care now.